Ooh, how do you summarize when you're emotional like this after a game? But I got the question out there straight after the game. How disappointed I were by the performance, and I said I'm actually not that disappointed about the performance, but I'm disappointed about the result. The way the players handled the player unavailability going into this game, a lot of questions were how are you going to attack, how are you going to score goals, and we showed tonight, if you look at our attacking game, that we can still play the way we want to play. We created enough chances to score even more goals. If you look at some of the stats, we have double the amount of final third entries than our average. We had double the amount of box entries than our average. We had 28 shots. We scored 2 goals. So the attacking game was actually much improved compared to the Ireland game, which I'm happy about. The defensive one, the second ball game cost us 3 goals. I think the second ball was amazing against Ireland. We knew it was going to be a second ball there. We talked about a second ball game against Nigeria, especially in the center of the park. And unfortunately, the second ball game cost us 3 goals tonight. We knew that Nigeria had some very good attacking threats, and it was costly for us tonight, unfortunately. As good as it was against Ireland, then that saved us the game, but and tonight it did cost us the game. So disappointed about the result, but I can't let the result blind the performance either, because there's part of this performance that I know it's difficult to see, but if you look at it, there's actually part of this performance that is better than the result shows.
Thank you, and please raise your hand, state your name and media organization before asking a question. Yes, please.
I guess you're expecting this. One game to go. You pretty much need to win against Canada. You've got a world-class player who hasn't been able to play a single minute because of her calving. Is Sam Kerr going to be fit enough to play on Monday?
All I can say now is that I hope so. I know it's going to be tight, and I said in the press conference yesterday, because I knew obviously it's going to be a topic today, that I most likely will not get a confirmation on that until the night before the game, and then we'll go from there. It might even be where we need to test her to see if she can play on game day. That's how tight it is. I know that I can say already now, so everyone knows what it's like. And I know we're going to get questions from now all the way to the game, but I can say already now that I'm not going to be able to tell you that until either the night before the game or on game day, because that's how long we need to wait to see if she's available or not.
Thank you. Tracy Holmes, ABC. Tony, just talk about, the difference in the games that you've already played. Obviously, you haven't got that long to turn it around. You haven't got long to get the girls out of feeling bad about this result and heading into the game against Canada. How different is that game going to be? And how do you get them back on track and up for that game?
I think that might be one of the most important questions for me as a leader for this team right now. It's a spot-on question. Physical recovery is one thing, but the mental recovery as well to bounce back. But the one thing I do know with this team, and you saw it the last 10 to 12 minutes in this game, the never say die attitude, and when they're up against the wall, they come out and play good. They're brave, and they give it all the way through. And it almost got us a tie today. And also with the help of fans carrying us through that tough period like they did against Ireland. So, but it's definitely one of the biggest and most important things we have to prepare right now is to mentally bounce back and just see the truth right in front of us. It's a must-win game against the Olympic champion in the last round of the group stage to get out. That's what we've got in front of us. In terms of difference, you mean compared to preparing for this game when they had 6 days? Obviously less training time, so you need to cover a lot of the game plan in video. But the fact that we have had continuity in a clear game style and no matter what's on the park, we look the same. I have a complete trust that they're going to feel ready for it. And to be honest, in the pre-camp that we had for a month, we played against all these 3 teams multiple times. Teams coming in, playing against closed door, that we played these tactics. So we have experienced the game plan against Canada already in advance because we knew it was a short turnaround. So some of the prep work is already done. So it's going back to watch those videos and those training sessions and then kind of review and freshen up what we have already planned for. The other challenge that is different is that I think it will be limited training time for some of the ones that played 90 minutes. So we need to do that we can't do a full 11v11 session and things like that. So a lot of it is going to be subgroup talks, individual talks, video preparation, and then just recover so that we're fresh going into the Canada game.
All right, Jane Francis, Wednesday, TVC News Nigeria. So, Coach, I asked you yesterday about, the strength of the Nigerian team, but obviously, do you maybe there were moments of surprise? So let me not assume, but did you find any moment of surprise in that maybe may have made things not to work out with the game plan you had coming into this game? Were there changes with the way you've known them to play as they played today against the Matildas?
No, not really surprised. I said yesterday that I knew they had some really tough attacking threats. That they put Ushal on the bench was maybe a surprise. I think they wanted to use the speed against our centre-backs in transition and have another speedy player up top. So they had 3 attacking threats with speed. But in terms of how they play, I think it was very similar to what they did against Canada. And it was very clear that they wanted to hurt us in transition. And also that second ball game that became a transition moment, even if it was organized, but losing some of the second balls and then go at us with transition that we were prepared for, but we didn't do it well enough tonight.
Tony, my name is Fernando Valeca de Barros. I'm a freelancer for Estado de São Paulo from Brazil. Your team was winning, and your team suffered a last-minute goal at the first half. How was the impact of this goal as a game changer tonight? Thank you very much.
I think everyone saw the emotions. First, when we scored the 1-0, the momentum we had in the game and what that gave and how important it is when you get a late goal like that right before halftime. And then this team have shown over the past that they're really, really good in terms of game management to kill a game and get into the locker room and play the clock and be smart. And then obviously the emotions goes completely opposite when we concede a goal right before the last thing that happens right before the halftime. So it definitely influences, especially as a coach, you prep for halftime talk and then that happens the last second. You need to shift because then it's all about mental preparation first to get all those emotions out, which the team did brilliantly in the halftime. And you saw when we came out in the second half that how they bounced back and didn't let those emotions get to them. We looked at some clips, we looked at some stats and said, hey, we were dominating the first half. Let's not let this one goal take away that feeling that we had after scoring 1-0. And I think that the players showed strength when we came out in the second half and kept dominating, which I think we did. With all the respect, I want to be humble. We lost the game and sitting here and saying we dominate. But in that beginning of the second half, I do think we dominated. So I do think they emotionally handle it well.
Hi, Brooke Evans with the Associated Press. You mentioned, attacking players on Nigeria's team. When you saw that, it wasn't on that starting lineup, what was going through your head?
Straight away gave the information to the team and said one more speedy player up top. We need to make sure that we finish our attacks, don't play into pressure, get dispossessed, pick up those second ball because we know once they win the second balls and turn on a dime, they're going to have 3 very speedy attacking threats to get in behind us. So we really need to be spot on in our attacking game because that's where you start the defending transition, how you attack. And second was that we need to be really, really sharp in our defending transition to stop it.
Hi, Tony. Matt Comito from KEEPUP. I just wanted to ask a couple of tactical things. Firstly, the decision to throw Alana Kennedy forward for the last period of the game. What was the sort of decision-making behind that? And also the fact that substitutions really only came after the sort of 80-minute mark. Yeah. You could maybe explain those 2 sort of tactical decisions.
Alana as a double 9, as we call it, playing with 2 9s with aerial presence up there is something we've done in the past. Last time, I think, you guys saw it was against New Zealand when we scored those late goals and won the game in overtime. Alana has a forward mindset with her aerial presence and her finishing. So that's something we've trained and prepared for. We've done it before and we've done it a lot in training. In terms of the late subs, I think that's a fair question, and that's something I need to look at as a coach. Did I find the right timing for the subs tonight? We did get a massive effect positively when we did it. Did we get that because I did it in the right moment, or should I have done it earlier and we could have played longer with that positive effect? It's something I'm going to review afterwards. But I do think that the players was really prepared for what we wanted to do in the going for the goal scenario. I think Shids came in and was that game changer. She was upset now afterwards that she didn't score, but I said, hey, you were brilliant, Shids, when you came in. You were that game changer that we practiced. She did exactly what she was asked to do. And then Alana, as well, as we know, maybe we should have scored on set plays even earlier, but there's no coincidence that we did score on a set play once again.
Emma Kemp, Sydney Morning Herald. You've sort of just half answered that, so just to follow up to that question. You brought off an attacker and you brought on a defender in Polks. What was the reasoning behind that, and why did you wait so late to actually bring Chidiac on?
I think it's, as a coach, the number one challenge is to try to find the right answer before you know whether it's right or wrong, meaning find that right timing. Do we do an early sub? Do we do a late sub? I think some of the players on the park was actually performing pretty well. We had the momentum, and sometimes when you want to sub, you don't want to kind of disrupt the momentum in a game, and I thought we had a good momentum going. So in that sense, again, I'm going to review it whether I did it too late or not, because Shids was brilliant when she came in. When it comes to saying that we replace an attacker with a defender, I think that's a logic question. But like I said, Alana is a brilliant attacking option for us. And then Polk's attributes on set plays and her winning mentality. Polk's is a true winner. To get her on the park as well with the physicality and the attacking set play presence. She scored tons of game winners from set play, so it gave us another tool. And it's something that we have planned and prepared for. So I know it can look different, look strange when you take an attacker out and put a defender on, but it's more about what type of attacking tool do you want in that type of the game. And I think actually we got a good effect on it tonight, but not all the way in. But we were very, very close. Look at Chid's 100% chance, Ellie's 100% chance, Caitlin's 100% chance. All that was after the game changes come on. We could have scored 4 goals in the last 10 minutes.
We have time for just a couple more questions. One here.
Luke Winslow, the Associated Press. For you, when you look forward to the game against Canada, what are those things that you pinpoint that need to improve?
I need to review the game, obviously, but now top of my head is that those second ball that we talk about. A lot of the game today is going to be dictated on that second ball in the center of the park. We know Canada is really good on the break as well. So maybe that is one part we need to look at again. But we were brilliant in the Ireland games. It's not that we don't know it or can't do it. It's just that today we lost more second balls than we did against Ireland. So that's one of the things. And the other thing is that we know that games are won or lost in the 18, and be a little bit more efficient in terms of finishing our attacks. Even though we scored 2 goals, I say here we need to score even more. But in considering the amount of chances we had, if we maybe can be a little bit more clinical, we can score even more goals.
Last one in the back.
Tony, Will Swanton at the Australian. Sam's not going to be 100% fit, obviously, but how fit will be fit enough, if you know what I mean? I'm sure plenty of people think, Sam 50% fit should still play. And do you also maybe perhaps expect her to come to you and insist on playing, given she's the captain? It's all or nothing, that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course she will. That's going to be her mindset, and that's what I love with Sam. She's going to do anything she can to be out there. I know that she want to be out there. She deserves to be out there, and if she can be out there, she will be out there. And we just need to plan a plan for 90 minutes together if she's available. I'm saying if now. If she's available, we just need to come up with a plan together with the staff, together with Sam, to see what's the best to maximize the potential minutes that she has going into this game if she's available.
Thank you very much. Thank you.